Kicking us off?
I guess so.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Drafthouse Download. My name is Dee Ahmed.
I'm Max Wolfson.
And we are joined today with Anthony DeVito. How are you doing, Anthony?
Good.
Well, welcome to the show and welcome to DC. Have you gone down here before?
Yeah, I've been here a couple times at the Big Hunt, and then I think some stuff at the Kennedy Center.
Awesome. Yeah. And how are you liking like the DC crowds? I mean, I know you're like from New Jersey and you're growing up in the New York scene where it's a bit different. How do you like this area versus that?
Some crowds are great. Other ones, like, they're very polite. They're very, very polite. There's a cap on how loud or how much momentum that they'll give you.
Right.
I've found, and then just a lot of like race stuff kind of makes them uneasy. It feels like everything goes through filters before they can kind of process and be like, oh, I'm okay. I can smile at that.
I feel like DC is the capital of the like knowing nod to a joke and
Yes.
no laugh, where someone's just like, wordplay. I appreciate it.
And then their heads too. They're like, well, I don't know why I'm nodding. I don't know why he's upset. I'm doing everything I'm doing.
True. I mean, you recently also did, I believe it was a Late Show with Stephen Colbert. That must have been fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was surreal, man.
Yeah?
Super surreal. Yeah, I mean, like, there are points, like, in the set where, like, I could hear him laughing behind me. And it's like, that was the craziest moment I've probably ever had in comedy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was wild.
Very cool. I know you did This American Life too. Was that different? Did that come out of your stand-up, or was it something specifically?
Yeah, so like I was doing a show at UCB, Whiplash, great show, Monday night, and one of the people who pitches stories for This American Life, her then fiance was in the crowd, saw me talking about how my grandmother was getting married, and I knew her for years. I just knew her through a friend, but never like pitched her anything. And then he was like, you guys see this guy, he's got this crazy story about his grandmother getting married. And she was like, I know him. And then we talked on the phone, kind of crafted the story. They hooked me up with a producer. We went to the nursing home, interviewed my grandmother, and then like, it was intense. I did not, that part, I didn't foresee being that like I guess like emotionally taxing. She was like bringing up like shit about her life, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing to my grandma. She doesn't know why I'm doing this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just taking a microphone.
Your grandma's not big in a podcast?
No, she's like, it's yeah. She's just like, this is like his like high school project or something. Like, I don't know what this is, but like she's drumming up all these like terrible memories about her.
Jeez.
But then in the end, it turned out to be a thing that is something that like my family kind of has forever, and she's heard it a number of times. She loves it. It turned out to be kind of like a special thing for my family.
Man, that's
really
amazing.
cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
So get out there, ambush your grandparents right now, interview
Hit
them.
them up and make sure they know they got to start talking in front of a lot of people. Did you prep her at all before that?
I mean, I tried to, but she's 90 years old. I mean, I want to like go through like, this is a podcast. Like, there's like, this is iTunes. I would have to have started so far before that. I'd have had to be like, this is the internet. This is a computer.
Right. Just like a TED Talk about.
Would have been such a long road.
I feel like if it was my parents, they probably, or my grandparents, they would just be like, is it like on a record or something like that?
It's very much like that.
Cassette tape? And I'm like, no, it's the internet.
I found myself, I was just saying radio over and over
Right,
again.
yeah. It's like radio, except none of the components are the same, and everything's different.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard for her to grasp what was happening at first. And then after it came out, I was nice enough, people that listened to it just sent emails, tweets, whatever. And reading those to her, she kind of got the scope of it a little bit more. Because, like, really cool. It has such a big listenership.
Massive.
So it's like, I was getting emails from people, like, in Australia. And I was like, this is someone in Australia who, like, thinks your story was, life-changing to them or whatever. And, she was just like, Australia. So, like, that was a really cool thing.
Oh man,
Very
that's
cool.
awesome. Well, now that you're like in DC, was there anything that you were going to be checking out? I mean, apart from comedy
Lincoln
shows.
Memorial every day, every hour, every day.
Just keeping an eye on him.
Keep an eye on him.
Just trying to see if you could play like some sort
I
of.
think that pinky twitched.
Yeah. I'm not so convinced this is a statue.
That would be an
this was a
amazing
gypsy
conspiracy theory to get off the ground.
Like,
It's just, listen,
Memorial's
it
actually
adds
alive.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actors, man.
Man,
I don't know if there's anything like in particular that I'm looking to do. Is there anything I should be doing?
I don't know. I guess that depends. We had one comic ask us like what he should do while he was super high and wandering around. It was like art museum is a good choice because you can just be like colors, stuff going on.
Yeah.
the karaoke scene around here is apparently very prevalent,
Is
and
that
it's
really
also
true?
pretty intense.
The karaoke scene?
Yeah, you
That's
have
news to
no
me.
idea. There's
I have
like
no
this
idea.
whole different like sub realm of performance that I was not aware of until I went to one and I bombed terribly trying to sing like Remix to Ignition, and then
Hot and fresh out the kitchen?
Yeah. Tito and I were talking about that. That's the go-to.
Exactly,
Yeah,
it's the best song.
It's a great one.
But
yeah.
I remember someone going up and singing like "Don't Stop Believing," and they murdered.
Yeah.
Like, had people like fucking chanting
that's like-
and like throwing.
I used to play pickup basketball in college, brag, and there was a guy from the there's a guy from the
play
college
pickup
team.
a little bit.
You know, I was pretty
wanna-
terrible. So, but a guy from our actual college basketball team would come and play pickup with everybody in the gym,
Right.
and just like dunk
Yeah,
on
it's like
people
what
and school. And I feel like those are like the people who are like they were singers through high school and college, and then that ended, and then they're just like, I'm gonna go to karaoke.
It's such bad
Awesome.
form when you see it. You know, it's yeah.
Oh man, it's like Jimmy Fallon going to an open mic and he's like, "Yeah, I'm ready to do this tonight," or something
Yeah.
like that.
He does his full talk show.
Exactly. Doesn't even try to do stand up or any
Wow,
jokes
you're
or
going
Just bring in the
long.
audience.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. Was there anything else that you wanted to bring up? I guess.
No, I was gonna ask a little bit about how you, because the This American Life thing made me think about storytelling
Totally.
in comedy and how they're obviously related, but I didn't know how you felt like that played into your.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge. I'm like, at least for right now, what I do, it's more like if they are stories, they're a lot shorter and they're sort of bunched together. Like probably the longest bit I have as a whole, like or one probably like 3-4 minutes or something like that. But I think I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, but I think as you go on, you get more adept at crafting those. Like if you look at like Birbiglia's early stuff compared to what he does now, it's not so different in a sense of like they're small bits, but he's found a way to connect them to create a larger bit out of it. So I don't know if I just told you guys anything with that question. I just talked a little bit.
Well, like, have you ever considered like writing like screenplays or anything like that? Sketches? I mean.
Yeah, like I used to write sketches like here and there, and then just trying to write some screenplays. But yeah, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how. Yeah, because like you get story arc and all that stuff. Like
Yeah, I mean, with
that's the
longer
thing.
sets, you get
Yeah,
that
it's
chance.
it's a whole different thing. Yeah.
And the best people have a way that it all adds up in the end,
Yeah.
and every piece is worked in, and I feel like that's something that's.
Yeah,
takes
and also
crafting.
too, it's like you have to be very comfortable within those long stretches of silence because it's not like a 2-minute bit where you're like, well, it's bombing, but it's gonna be over in 30 seconds.
right.
Who cares? With a story, it's like if it's bombing in 2 minutes, you have to be like, there's 6 more minutes of this, and I have to be confident enough to stand here and take that.
Yeah.
And I don't know myself right now that I can handle that. Like the minute the minute they're not laughing, it's a real race to get them back on board.
Yeah.
And I'm always impressed by comics who are just like, nah, it's fine by me. I'll just keep going and doing whatever I'm doing. I'm freaking out the whole time. That's happening.
Yeah, I definitely have like mental breakdowns on stage about not having like that immediate laughter and then trying to win them back, but
Yeah.
I don't know, you only get that much time.
Yeah,
So it's like
it's
a bit different.
a lot harder in shorter sets as well. Because it's like if
Yeah,
you're
that's
talking
true.
about like a 7-minute story in like a 15-minute, that's half your set. And if it doesn't go
Right.
well, it's like you only have half the other set to win them back.
Yeah,
But
and you burnt that time off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're doing longer sets, I mean, that's what everybody says. I just really started headlining, so it's like, but people that have been doing it for a while, that's when you really grow the most because you have the time. And you can put an 8-minute story in the middle of a 45-minute set. You still got 25 more minutes to get them back on board. And,
Yeah.
so it's a lot
and win
easier.
them over and like have them ready
And
to
they
just.
trust you implicitly as well because you are a headline.
Right, and people came to your
Yeah,
show.
exactly.
That seems like
So.
Oh.
very cool.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it. Was there anything else we wanted to talk about? Well,
No, yeah.
Otherwise, thank you very much for joining us for the Drafthouse download. Make sure to check the links down below to follow us, all of our social media jazz and all that business. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know why I said jazz.
We're in a social media jazz band.
Okay, do it now, but be funny.